In the annals of history, the Age of Exploration stands as a remarkable period that bridged continents, cultures, and economies in unprecedented ways. Our journey begins at the dawn of the 16th century, when Europe was a patchwork of competing kingdoms, each eager to extend its influence beyond familiar horizons. Navigators armed with crude maps and compasses set sail into the unknown, driven by the tantalizing promise of wealth in the form of spices, gold, and new lands. Imagine standing on the bustling docks of Lisbon, the heart of the Portuguese Maritime Empire. The air is thick with the scent of salt and the promise of adventure. Merchants haggle over exotic goods, from vibrant silks to fragrant spices, while sailors, sunburnt and scarred by the sea, recount tales of distant lands and fierce storms to eager crowds. Here, the daily life of those who dared defied the boundaries set by their ancestors just a generation before. During this era, daily life was a delicate balancing act between tradition and innovation. For ordinary Europeans, life was largely dictated by social hierarchy and agrarian cycles. Most lived in rural communities, laboring from dawn till dusk. Yet, as explorers brought stories and goods from abroad, a peculiar change began to ripple through villages and towns. An unprecedented curiosity about the world beyond took root, evidenced by the burgeoning market in travel literature tales of far-off lands and peoples that fueled both fear and fascination. But the Age of Exploration was not just about the spectacular or the grandiose. At its heart lay a series of quiet, yet profound, transformations in the everyday lives of people scattered across newly interconnected continents. Technological innovations such as the astrolabe enhanced navigation, making it possible to traverse the wide and treacherous seas with a sense of calculated confidence. This small but significant device did not only serve seasoned mariners, but also represented the crux of European advancements that would follow into the Enlightenment. As these voyages carried explorers into unknown territories, the impact on human cultures and societies was as vast as the oceans they sailed. In native lands, such as the Americas and parts of Africa, the arrival of Europeans coincided with encounters that were often brutal and transformative. Here, the clash and blend of cultures led to tragic consequences for indigenous populations, spanning disease, warfare, and subjugation, yet also sowing the seeds for rich, complex cultural fusions that endure to this day. For the people of Europe, the economic ramifications were equally profound. As gold and silver poured in from the New World, economic balances shifted, fueling both growth and greed. The influx of wealth enriched some classes, driving a wedge further between the wealthy and the destitute. New trading ports sprang up, bustling with goods and the promise of profit, creating opportunities for some and ruin for others. Central to these sweeping changes was the role of the merchant. Seen as both pioneers and profiteers, merchants were instrumental in spreading not just commodities, but also ideas and technologies. Think of Antonio, a Venetian trader whose fortunes were made navigating both seas and courts, acquiring spices from the East Indies and selling them to the elites of Europe. Men like him were the arteries of this new global economy, negotiating waters and wars in pursuit of prosperity. And what about the women who lived through this exhilarating yet turbulent era? Often discounted in historical narratives, women continued their essential roles within households, farms, and as unsung participants in trade networks. Taloat, a healer in one of the many seafaring communities, used both local and newly imported herbs discoveries of the age to treat the sick in her village, blending the old with the new as seamlessly as the times demanded. Religiously, the Age of Exploration was both a time of fervent evangelism and deepening divisions. Missionaries traveled beside explorers, often as the vanguard of European influence, seeking to convert native populations to Christianity, even as back home the Reformation was tearing through Europe with its promises of religious renewal and conflict. Despite the age's undeniable eye towards the future, many of its people remained rooted in the past. The period's famed technological innovations did not erase centuries of tradition in a blink. Sailors still relied on the stars as much as their instruments, reaffirming that true progress was a gradual dance of inspiration and interdependence, not a mere leap. In the streets and marketplaces, the strum of a lute or the lilt of a folk song resonated with the same fervor as news of a newly charted land. As the age of exploration unfolded, it sowed the seeds for a world that is more interconnected than ever before. This global exchange, fraught with inequalities and challenges, nonetheless laid the foundation for modern globalism. Indeed, it would change how we think of cultures not as insular entities, but as dynamic webs, continuously weaving new strands from an ever-expanding world of diversity and discovery. How then do we look back on this era? Its legacy is twofold, speaking to humanity's unyielding curiosity and capacity for both great good and great folly. The echoes of ships upon an uncharted sea still resonate today as a reminder that the world we live in is not as vast nor as alien as it once seemed. What connects us to those explorers in search of new worlds? Like them, we stand on the precipice of the unknown, whether through scientific discovery or through expanding cultural horizons. Our digital age, much like the age of exploration, challenges us to navigate new waters with both wonder and caution. What aspects of the age of exploration capture your imagination? Would you thrive as an explorer, a merchant, or perhaps a mapmaker charting courses anew? Engage with us in the comments below. If this window into the past enlightens your perspective, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe for further explorations into the pages of history. What era shall we sail to next? Drop your thoughts